Welcome everyone to White Collar Advice. In my business, you would imagine that I get a lot of frustrating calls. Of course, people have been indicted, they're getting sentenced, going to prison. So it's par for the course in my industry. There's sometimes very difficult calls can end more favorably. And that was the case with the call this morning. For some background, I received a call from a defendant who was stunned and sickened and shocked when he learned that his lawyer, with whom he had paid a whole lot of money, just fired him and let him go for no apparent reason at the guilty plea. So I wanted to get more of the details, and the purpose of this video, The Truth About Federal Public Defenders, is because it's going to help all of you who may end up with a federal public defender. And when I film videos about lawyers, my goal isn't to be critical, but to educate and inform, to advise. We work with phenomenal lawyers here, but I do want to teach and advise. That's the goal of White Collar Advice. So in this case, this new client had retained this lawyer a little bit more than a year ago, paid a $100,000 retainer, and his retainer agreement required that he keep a certain amount of money in his account at all times. Initially, the defendant was planning to go to trial. In retrospect, I think he wishes he had accepted responsibility sooner rather than blow exorbitant amounts of money going through discovery and all that good stuff. It was his choice, but in retrospect wishes that he had pled guilty more quickly, in part because at the guilty plea he had blown through nearly this $100,000 and he was struggling to get the retainer back up. So there was a specific term this lawyer used at the sentencing. In fact, I had to go to the ABA journal to look it up, and I suppose the term, which was a client had never heard, was fundamental disagreement, which read that the lawyer considers repugnant or which the lawyer has a fundamental disagreement. So at this guilty plea, my new client heard his lawyer tell the judge that he was withdrawing because of this fundamental disagreement. And my client was there like deer in the headlights, stunned, shocked, and of course, his opinion was because he had run out of money and he was unable to refill the retainer, this was an excuse for his lawyer to let him go. So when he called, beyond being sick and sad and devastated, it was, what do I do next? What do I do next? Oh my God, they're going to appoint me to a federal public defender. They're awful, right? They're terrible, right? They're too busy. So here's the point about this video and the truth about federal public defenders and what is a good break for my new client. Federal public defenders get a bad rap. Most are phenomenal. They're terrific. It is a social calling for them. Many of them could choose to be in private practice, though they choose to be a federal public defender. Sure, some of them are overworked, but aren't we all? And sure, some lawyers are bad. In any profession, there may be some bad apples. I don't know all the details of this case, though I don't think it was fair what this lawyer did. So the truth about federal public defenders is many of them are excellent. So if you're in a position where you are assigned a federal public defender, it's okay. And it's surprising for some people to hear how many clients of ours have federal public defenders, because if you look at a lot of the media with our company, from the Washington Post to Dr. Phil to all over it, the pricey consultant preparing the rich for prison. And while many of our clients are rich and have significant means to give law firms $500,000, millions of dollars, many of our clients, people are surprised to hear, work with federal public defenders. Our team works with anyone willing to invest the time, willing to work with anyone who wants the best possible sanction. And I share this with you because I do think it surprises some people when they find out how many of our clients work with federal public defenders. But more so, it surprises people sometimes when I tell them about the phenomenal experiences I've had with federal public defenders all across the country. And sometimes because they may be a little overworked, what does that mean? It means they're open to help. It means they're open to insights from opinions that may be different from theirs, and they're willing to learn. Indeed, that's probably the best part of having worked with so many federal public defenders. They have flat out said to me, hey, I haven't done that before, Justin. I haven't gotten the personal narrative to the probation officer, but it seems to make sense that you'd want to influence this probation officer just like you want to influence the judge. I'm going to give it a shot. And to their credit, many of them have said to me after it worked out successfully, I should have been doing this for years. I'm going to continue to do it. I will acknowledge some clients who have retained very expensive lawyers, hundreds of thousands of dollars, in some cases millions of dollars. They're not always as receptive to the outside opinion of others. The idea has to originate in their own mind. Again, I'm generalizing. I'm not indicting all lawyers here. Many of them are wonderful, including many very expensive lawyers with whom I work and we send and receive referrals are terrific. So I'm speaking generally. I just want to be cautious. So I think at the end of this call with our new client, he went from devastated and shocked that my lawyer, what's the term again, told the judge that we had a fundamental disagreement. I don't even know what that meant. I don't understand what the fundamental disagreement was. The only disagreement is I don't have more money to give him. I wish I'd have pled guilty a year ago, and here I am. It went from feeling shocked and devastated to, wow, so I'm going to be okay with a federal public defender. My response was, of course, they're capable, they're qualified, they're lawyers. I read this study many years ago. I'll put up a link to it. Someone had done a survey where federal judges said they have more trust or feel as confident or believe in a federal public defender as much as a retained lawyer. So all of this information was very comforting for our new client at White Collar Advice, but it doesn't change whether it's a federal public defender or a lawyer with whom you retain. You still have to learn to hold them accountable. You still have to learn how to ask them the appropriate questions. And if you can do that, you're going to have a much more productive experience. And I guess to close, I have shared this story where I had a client who had a federal public defender, and I would say 10 to 15% of our clients have federal public defenders. A client had a federal public defender who was awesome. I mean, this federal, I don't know if I should mention his name, awesome. But he had a federal public defender. Our client got a significantly shorter sentence than his co-defendant with whom we did not work, who I know hired like the most expensive law firm in Philadelphia, like $1,000 an hour, 3 lawyers on every single call, and I have no doubt they're probably doing the work. But in this case, our client with the federal public defender got a better outcome in part because he worked so well with the lawyer, but he also took the initiative to express through his own efforts why he was worthy of leniency, why he'll never return to another courtroom, his plans for the rest of his life. First and foremost, he identified with victims. So I want to close to all of you. If you've been appointed a federal public defender, it's okay. They're great. They're terrific. Learn to work openly and honestly with them. And if you can do that, you'll get a terrific outcome. And of course, if you'd like to work with our team or schedule a call with us, click a button somewhere in this YouTube description and reach out to us. Lastly, we're writers and producers of content to White Collar Advice. We give away all of our books. Do not buy them. So a new book, Prepare, our team produced. You go to prepareasap.com. I put up all 27 chapters to prepare on our website. Regardless of where you are in the journey, you need to do the next right thing. Have you noticed sometimes in my videos I say, as I wrap it up, or finally, or lastly, and I keep talking, but I do have one more thing to say. In Prepare, we have 27 chapters on our website. Again, it's free, nothing to buy here. But as you're wondering what to do next, you'll find a chapter that will help you. So if you've just gotten into trouble and you want to learn about sentencing mitigation, go to sentencing mitigation. If you have a federal public defender, you're looking to hire a lawyer, chapter 2 and 3, how to work with and hire a lawyer. So regardless of where you are in the journey, our book, Prepare, will help you prepare. Thank you so much for your time. If you find value in these videos, like and subscribe. If you have a federal public defender, it's okay. They're great. They're awesome. Work well with them. You're going to get a great outcome. Be well. Bye-bye.